Hey guys, I'm here today to do some baking with you, and it's one of my most favorite things to bake. It's from the German-speaking countries, a tradition called Saint Nikolaus. In Switzerland we call it Samichlaus, and the thing we're going to bake is called Gritibänz, an awesome Swiss-German word. It's basically a Swiss sweet bread, and it's really good and I love it. And in Switzerland it works like this, that on the 6th of December Samichlaus comes to you, to the children, and if you've been a good child that year, then you get a Gritibänz. So whenever it's cold, like, you find these little breads all around in every store, and you can just buy them, or they're not little at all. And they're in the shape of a man, and that's also the reason why it's called Gritibänz. Griti is an old Swiss German word that's not used anymore, but it meant like split legs, because that's how it looks like. You will see that later. And Benz used to be a nickname for the name Benedict, which was very common at the time. And we're talking actually about late 1800s, when this tradition was already in place. So I hope you like it, the food and the video, and enjoy. Thanks. So we start off with 2.5 deciliters of milk, and we warm it in a pan. To the milk we add 125 grams of butter, cut into squares. Rest too. There we go. So we're gonna cook this, not that it gets really hot, just to basically melt the butter and to warm everything up. So it should be like in the heat, so your finger can go in and it doesn't hurt you. So this is step number one. I have quite a big bowl here, and this is 500 grams of wet flour. And here we have half a tablespoon salt, just half. And here we have 1 packet of dry yeast, so I'm gonna add that too. There we go. And now we just blend this together with the flour. Doesn't need to be super mixed, we will mix much more later. By the way, whenever you bake, please make sure you don't have any rings on you. It's not good for the food and not good for your ring either, so it's a win-win. And then once we're done, we're gonna make a mold in the middle. So I'm not so sure how good you can see this. This is just my iPhone camera, so bear with me. But basically, you make a hole into the middle of the flour. This is where the other ingredients will go. When the butter starts melting, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And we're gonna mix all of it a bit. So all of this needs to blend and melt together. Once everything is melted, then please go in with your finger and make sure it's not too hot. If you can't do this, if you can't put in your finger and go around like this, if it starts to hurt you, then please don't continue. Just don't panic, don't just let it down and let it cool down. You have not mixed anything critical yet, so you have time. Just wait it out. But as mine now is ready, we're gonna take this to the flour, and here I poured into the middle, into this little hole that I built. Like so. We add 1 egg, which I already put into a bowl, little bowl, so it doesn't need to be blended yet. And now we start blending, and as you've probably seen in many master cooks, you always start from the outside and work yourself in to your mixture here. And at some point you will break, and don't panic, all is good. We blend everything in the end. And I always start blending with I don't know the word for this in English, I'm so sorry. With my chopper, so we say. And then later on I go in with my fingers, which is why, like I mentioned before, this milk, butter, sugar mixture really should not be too hot, or you're gonna like seriously burn yourself. And I'm saying this so many times, and if you wonder, yes, it has happened to me, and yes, it did hurt a lot. So, here's the egg. Let's kill the egg. Get you. There we go. I'm happy with this, so I'm gonna change to hands. So I'm gonna quickly put the camera down. So here I'm working now with my hand, and this is actually not just for you guys or for filming. This is I usually work more with one hand than the other. It's just always good in case you, for example, need to add some more flour, and if both your hands are extremely dirty, it's a little bit annoying. What you do is you just you just work with this dough here until it becomes, of course, just one. So we take everything from in here, and soon I will also go outside the bowl because I need a space to work with it, so that you will see. And then afterwards I will have to swap to two hands, and I can film that as, like I said, I'm just holding my camera, my iPhone or my phone, and yeah, so you will miss that part, I'm afraid. But the one important thing is like really work with the dough. You want like everything inside to start working, the bacteria and things, and also the more air you get into it and the more you work with it, the fluffier it will be, the end result. So if you've always wondered like why am I hitting my dough, that's the reason. Take everything out, and now I'm just here out in the open on my kitchen bench, and so not on the table. And now I'm trying to show you with one hand a little bit what I do, but I really need to swap to two hands after this. So, but basically, really working into the dough. This is awesome if you're angry or if you anyway need to relieve some stress. This is the best thing ever. And it shouldn't stick, by the way. As you can see, it doesn't stick, and it's a bit shiny here, and that's from the butter and the fat, of course. And that's how it should be, okay? And if it sticks to you, just add some more flour. And oh, of course, make sure your workbench is super clean before you do that, right? Don't want any tomato sauce on our bread. It's left over from before. Okay, so something like this, and now I will work it even more. One of the tricks to do, I tried to show this before, is to hit it over an edge. This helps to get the air into the dough. So I'm gonna work with this dough approximately like 5 complete minutes more, and then I'm back. Alrighty, now I'm happy with the dough. It's awesome. It should feel very soft, and like I said, like very easy to work with. And I'm a bit out of breath, and if you're not, then you haven't used enough force. Dough in here, and this is a trick of my family. I have just a regular towel. So here's my wet towel, and I'll just put that. That's interesting. I need 2 hands for this. Over the bowl, like this. Can you see? And now it needs to rest. So what I do, the oven is completely off. Okay, nothing there. I still put it in the oven. The reason for that is you always have windows open or doors that open and something like that. So the air in your home is never like at one temperature. So it can rest like in peace, so to speak. And now we have to wait 1 hour, so I'll be back when that's ready. And here we are after approximately an hour. And the first thing I do, I always check that it really grew, double in size, and as you can see, it beautifully did. So this is perfect. This is perfect dough. So we're ready to continue. Basically, we're gonna make our man breads now. But the first thing you want to do is you want to put the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. So it is ready when we are done with the eggmans. So I'm gonna do that quickly and then I'll be back. Okay, what I did is I just took the dough out from the bowl, and of course I need 2 hands for that, so I already did that. I have here my baking sheet with my baking plate with baking sheet ready, so I can put my Gritibänz on it later. And all we do now is we like rip apart, like so we have like same sized breads. Usually by the size that I'm making here, I make 2 or 3. of those Gritibänz, so they're either bigger or smaller. So today I'm gonna make 3, so I'm gonna just put in 3, but really it's up to you how big you want them to be. And then we form our little mans, and I don't really think I can do this with one hand, so this is where we are now, and then you will see the end result in a few minutes. There is different methods to do this one. This one is maybe not my best ever, but what I did here is I used scissors to cut into the dough, and then just to get the split legs, and the same as for the arms, and here we have the head. And the last thing to do now, some people like raisins, I don't, so the only thing I use is nuts here. We decorate our little man here, and that's one of them done, and let me do the other 2. This is now another method. What I use now, I just ripped off a part of the dough and made this round ball here for the head. Same with the arms, the legs I did the same way with the scissors. And this is also a way you can do it. So, one more to go. And this is my last one. So now I have them all on the baking sheet. Lovely. I think this one is the best one, but doesn't really matter too much. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna leave them actually staying here for another 30 minutes, and then we'll grow again a bit because the dough is still working and stuff like that before we start baking them. So see you back in 30 minutes. And 30 minutes later, and they have grown again, as you can see. What we're doing now, this is a mixture of egg yolk and oil. I usually use olive oil because I like the taste. So now we're just gonna use this on our little mans here. Just try to get it everywhere. Be careful around the nuts because they can easily fall out, especially now that the dough has grown a bit. So now once again 180 degrees Celsius and in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes. So what you have to look out for is that they get golden brown. You don't want them too dark, but definitely golden brown, okay? And that's it, and you've done Gritibänz. So I hope you enjoy this, and I will show you the end result, and yeah, see you soon. And here we are, all done. Beautifully golden brown and huge. So I hope you like the taste, especially of these. They're absolutely awesome if you ask me. You can just eat them as they are, or with some butter, or also if you like this with jam or honey or something, if you like it even more sweet, and with cheese as well. I don't like it too much with salty like ham myself, but try it out, and that's the end of this first Let's Bake, so I hope you enjoyed it. And that was all there was to it. I hope you liked it, and I really hope you try it out, and that you like it as much as I do. And yeah, I just wanted to say goodbye, and let me know if you like it, and I can do other videos, so bye!